Hello, guys and girls. Jokester here, bringing you another episode of FTB Unstable. We are up to episode 32, and the last episode, we played around with roots. So we created a mortar, we created a pestle, we created the runic tablet, and we took a look at some of the things. We created one of these bark knives and harvested some barks, and we took a look at some of the other things in here. But what we want to do is we want to get into some of these spells. And so the first thing we're going to need is a staff. And in order to imbue a staff, we need a imbuer. And that's pretty straightforward to make, right? It's any block, brick, and 4 sticks. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that imbuer right there. And hold on, I guess it does need that guy. Let's make some of those. Nope, we have nothing in our system. Let's make some. There we go. That's what I want. It's right there. And then let's make a couple of these. There we go. And chiseled. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now we have an imbuer. And so we can place that down right there. And so what we do is let's take a look at some of these things. Now, we're going to ignore these two here, but we can start creating these spells. One, Insanity, and you look at it, it will, let's see, can create a spell that will cause nearby monsters to attack other nearby monsters. And then we have the Earth Spike, which shoots up a spike of dirt in the ground, from the ground. There's the Rending Strike and Shatter, Sanctuary, and so on, right? The Acceleration Wand is what you might have seen Direwolf using to accelerate machines, and so it's pretty simple to do. We might actually get into doing that. But what we want to do is this Electric Spark. And you can see there's Poisonous Potato, Glass Glowstone, and Sugarcane. It's pretty straightforward, but we didn't have any poison potatoes. I've just been throwing them all away anytime I've ever gotten them. So what I did was I went over here and I created a potato field. And that's been growing very nicely. And threw some bone meal in here. You see it's already gone through quite... I actually went through 2 stacks of this and then threw another roughly stack and a quarter in. And it's got that much left. It's been running that same sequencer set up before. And you can see we now have those verdant sprigs, and so we have 25 of those. We have a whole bunch of potatoes, 26 stacks of those, but we do have 17 poisonous potatoes. And then the last thing is from the other field. It's filled this out, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. So we need to gather up some of these materials. So poison potatoes. We need to grab. Let's grab 2 of them. And you'll see why in a second. So let's grab some glowstone, a couple of those. And let's see, the other thing was glass, a couple of those. And lastly was the sugarcane. Now, I said we're going to ignore that glowstone entry in there because now it becomes the point where we have to decide, excuse me, whether we want to make a straight staff, or we can get more bang for our buck by adding potency with glowstone, efficiency with redstone, or size with gunpowder. And so each one of those adds a bit extra stuff to it, but they come out with a cost, right? So the first step is that we use verdant springs and we can add 1 of those. If we use infernal bulbs, we get 2 of them. And if we use Dragon Eyes, we get all 3. So let's take a look. So we have verdant springs now, and we have quite a bit of those, 25 of them. We also have those bulbs. We have 74 of them. That came from growing our nether wart, okay? So that's where those came from, and I've kept those. In fact, do I have a drawer of those somewhere? No, I think I just have been pulling them periodically out of the harvester. And but the other one is the dragon eyes that we've collected from the end. So let's grab a couple of these, and we're going to probably grab, let's grab some glowstone. We'll grab 2 of those. We'll grab some redstone. And we'll grab some gunpowder, because we will just add 1 of each. Okay, so here's how this works. We have the mortar down, we have the pestle, and what we need to do is put these things in there. So we'll put a poisonous potato in there. It doesn't matter what order we put them in. Then we have to add the glowstone and the glass and the sugar cane. Okay, so that's enough to make just the standard one, but we want to go even further. We want to add 3 more modifiers. So you just add 1 of the dragon eyes, right? So now we've got the ability to add all 3, or any number of these. So we're going to add 1 of each. So we add 1 of those, and 1 last is gunpowder, and then all you have to do is hit it with a you hit it with this pestle, and it creates this petal dust. And you can now see we've added 1 potency, 1 efficiency, 1 size. We could have done 3 potencies or 2 efficiencies and 1 size, however combination we want. We just added 1 of each just to see what it's like. The other thing is I want to do this one more time because, well, I have to say that when I first tested this out, learning the mod and making sure everything would look good for you guys and work smoothly, there was a problem that it wasn't working at all. And so we had version 0.110 of the mod, and it just didn't work. There was a problem when playing on a server that it just doesn't work. So I upgraded to the latest version, 0.220, and there's still a problem with it. It will occasionally revert back to a standard staff with no ability. So I want to make 2 of them, just so that we have plenty of chances. And so we are going to need some sticks now. And what these sticks do is you put them on the Imbue Er, and you then take your petal dust, you put it on there, stand back, and you get the staff. There's our electric spark, potency 1, efficiency 1, size 1. It's that simple. Let's do 1 more before we play with it. So we put that on. It doesn't matter what order. You can put the stick on first or the dust in first. There we go. Now we got 2 staffs. Okay, so the way this works is, you see now above my my food is a new bar with these little leaves, and that's your, think of it as kind of energy, mana, whatever you want to think. And if we hold down right click, and there we go. It fires and charges up. So we want to go and look for creepers. Let's make it dark. Let's go over here. There's an Enderman. There's a creeper right there. And so we can hold this down, and we created a charged creeper. Get him and see? No. Remember, 10% chance. So we have to go around here and do this a few times. Charge him up. Did we get it? Nope. So this is going to take rough... Oh, there's another one right there. Let's do 1 more on camera, and then I'm going to cut, and we will... Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. I don't know what causes that. It just reverted into a plain old staff. So you have to make multiple ones. I've submitted a bug on the wiki. There you go. Right there. Did it twice in a row. Good times. All right, I'm going to create a few more of these, and I'm going to go farm these guys until we get our, until we get to that magical thing that we need, whatever it was called. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, we are back, and guess what? Haha, we got the Eye of the Storm. It's actually only 2 more, so wasn't too bad at all. So let's drop off these and throw those in there. Okay, so yeah, it trashed on the very last use. I had to make 1 more staff, so which wasn't bad. I got two uses out of it. These guys, I believe, are useless. I don't know why it does it. I'm upgraded to the latest version. I submitted a bug, and hopefully we will... yeah, hopefully it'll get fixed and we won't have a problem. But you will need to upgrade that if you want to use this staff in order to replicate this. So now that we have this, we can create... See if we have everything for the tome. I think we do. Let's try it. We do. and we have the Tome of Alkahestry. So the way this works is redstone. Let me just grab 64 of these guys. And where's our regular crafting tables? Out here. I just want to do it out here so you can see without any, other things. What you do is you put this in here, and then if we were to put that in there, it would load it up with 9. Okay, because there's 9 in here. So you see there's a charge of 9. If we were then to do this, we now see we have 72 of them in here. All right, if we were to, we get this, all right, and we do this much, that is, take that out, and that's 63 plus 1 is 64, right? So frankly, it's this here, right? That gets us 64. And we're going to want to leverage this, all right? We want to leverage this here to be able to get nice usable chunks of 64 at a time. And that's because of our auto crafter and some of the limitations of not having metadata and BT data ability, right, to deal with this. So that's what we want to do. If I were to take this out, then we see we have a charge of 64. If I do this again, let's do this, and we'll put one more in here. Now we are at 128. And we can do this, and that gets us 192. And last one, you guessed it, if you know your powers of 2 and the such, it will be 256. So what we can do now with one of 256, a reliquary Tome of Alkahestry, we can take a Nether star. Do I have any? No, we don't. But let's take something like, let's take a diamond. No, let's take an emerald. Yeah, we like emeralds. All right, let's take one of these guys, put this in here, and that makes 2. And so we now have 256. Let's take this out, and that drops it down to 224. So we went from 256 to 224 to double that. All right, so that's going to be using up this charge. So that's what I plan on doing now. And you can also get the redstone back out of it, right? See, you can add that, or you can add it back in if you want, and it will charge it back up. The other thing you can do, let's see here, grab that back out. I didn't mean to shift click that. I believe you can right click on it, shift right click, yeah, and it starts sucking up all the redstone in your inventory. Very similar. Do you remember when we did this with the, where was it? The wand. Not seeing it in here. The Sojourner's staff. And yeah, I don't see it in here. It must be in here. Sojourners. Remember this guy? How it's loaded up with torches? And it does the same exact thing from reliquaries as well. So that's really handy. So what I want to do, it contains items and blocks them. Tome to duplicate them. You can right click on the altars of Alkahestry to fuel them with redstone from the tome. Yep, makes sense. Okay, let's turn that off. So that's what we want to do with the crafter. What I want to do though is I want to get all this out. All right, let me get all this out. So we are zeroed out. Let's grab our crafter and our crafter tier 2. Let's put it over here where we have some energy. I think this will get it energy here. Nope, I guess I don't have. Let me see. What do we have behind here? I've got to find an easy place to see where we have. I think it's only down below, right? Yeah, but yeah, I can put it right on top there. That's what I'll do. Let's do that for right now. So you can see what we're planning on doing. So if we put that there, it'll start getting RF. Cool. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is remember we're going to be getting in redstone from those guys downstairs, right? The red orchids. I could also take since it's going into the, right there, into the compacting block, I could also pull out just redstone blocks, but we're going to want both. So in theory, what I could do is I could create, remember I told you how I'd show you how this works. So this is how it works. You could select a recipe, you pick something that you wanted to make, right? Then you would say all input slots are consumed, meaning do you want it to consume all those or do you want it to disappear? I want it to keep at least, now let's have it consume everything. Do you want it to go to the external slot or the internal slots? And so let's say we want to create internal, and so that's it. And you can also have it remember and forget. We'll leave that alone for just right now. If I hit apply, now it's created this recipe for this. Anytime there is redstone in here, it will create redstone blocks and keep them in the internal. So if I put that there we go. Just created 7 and it left the 1 left over. Right? So if I put all these in there, turn them all into blocks. Okay? So that's how that works. Very simple. Now I can remember this, and so when I remove these, those guys will always be there. So now I could set this to everything's consumed, right, instead of keeping one, and when they disappear, only those things will be allowed to go in this slot. Or if I wanted to, I could load this up with a whole bunch of these, right, and remember, and then take all of them away, and it will only allow redstone blocks to go in there. Or I can forget them all. Okay, same thing with what's down here. If I want to say, this is what will come in here, I remember, and then when I remove it, only that will go into that output slot. If you have a need for that, right? Forget that, so on. Down here, we have our typical redstone mode, right? We know what that works, and then you have a speed, slow, and fast. So if you're cranking through and you're doing octuple compressed cobblestone, you would do something like fast. In most cases, you only need slow because it's pretty fast as it was. You saw how quickly it cranked through that. That's the slow speed, right? So that's really cool. That's about it. It's pretty straightforward. So I don't really need that. I'm going to remove all of these. And then how you clear it out is you just hit apply on a blank recipe and it clears that out. So what I want to do first is I'm going to have to clear these guys or get these back to at least a stack. Actually, I don't really want that much. Okay, let me make these again. And recipe apply. Let me put a few of these in here as redstone blocks. And let's just leave 1 stack. That's what I'll do. Okay, so we're going to put those in there. Then we're going to do this. We're going to clear out this recipe. Dog with his dog toy. Okay, we're going to clear out that recipe. So what I want to do here is I want to have this guy with a 0, right? It is or dictionaried or NBT data of 0, right? And then I want to put, remember, I want to put how we did before, just like that, and 1 here. And so that should give me 64. And if I hit apply here, that creates that first tier. Then what I can do is let's go ahead and put that in there, and it will make us the first tier. See? And it'll put it in the external. Okay? So it now put that in there, and it's got a charge of 64. The next recipe I'm going to do is, oops, I don't want to do that one. I want to do that one. There we go. So that should give us a charge of 128. We do that one. Cool. Let's put that in there, and we'll actually do that, and it's now made a 128. So then what I want to do is I want to do a book of 192. Yeah, 192 will be next. So let's put that in there. Cool. And last one is the 256. Okay, so that will be 256. We hit apply, and there we go. So what I need to do is put that there. I put this. You know what? I'm going to put all 4 stages here. So we'll put that one here, and we will remember. Then I'm going to dump out, let's see here. Let's dump out this, and we just want to grab 64 out, and that'll turn us into a 192 again. All right, so we want to put that there, remember. Okay, so now we got the 256, the 192. So let's put this in here, take another 64 out. Should have done this on the way up, but it's okay. We've got a way around it. Remember that. And then lastly, is that should have 128, and we're probably going to have to move over to the right. It'll be out of order, but that's okay. This one will be the 64. put that one in there, remember. And then last one is the empty one, because it will be empty at times. So we want to remember that. Oops. Pick it up. And we will put that at the end. So it's not in order, but sue me. Okay. Then the rest of this will be, it doesn't really matter. If I'm inputting stuff into here, I kind of rather not do something like emerald. So let's do just stone. Stone's good. Grab this and we'll fill this up so nothing else can get imported into here. All right, good. And oh, for pretty sake, we'll clean this up. Oh, come on, let go. And there we go. Okay, now we'll remember all that. Now we can take all this out. So that's the only things that are allowed to go in here as of right now. Okay, so all of these will put the, we'll probably want to make this internal. And this one internal. Actually, do these apply? Nope. All right, let me redo this. I need to keep these internal so it goes back in here. I just totally forgot about that, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, I think I've got it set up well. I think. Okay, so what I did some testing. So first thing I did is I upgraded this to the tier 3 because I thought I would need another one for our actual Nether star recipe, but I didn't. So I think I found a way to do this a little bit more efficiently than what we were doing before. So I just put this recipe in here with our standard block of redstones. I don't know if I can, yeah, there we go. So the block of redstones with the one redstone, regular redstone, around any tome. All right, it seems to ignore NBT now, so that's really cool. That's what we want. So I did set this. This down here does seem to honor NBT though. So I had to create the different tiers, right? Here's 0, 64, 128, 192, 256, and yeah, another one. I don't remember what this one was, but I was just cruising, and so maybe I made one extra. Whatever. So all right, so any tome can go in here, and it will increase it. All right, and so that throws it back internal. So it keeps going here and it works its way up here. And then once it gets up to here, it must be the two. I think this was the two. Oh, I didn't want that. You're killing me. Well, it shouldn't be. It should. I haven't hit applied yet, so I can just double click. There we go. Yeah, so there's a 768. I don't remember how much it needs. Yeah, that last one must be 768. So it doesn't really matter how much is in there because we should be able to keep this fully charged, throwing enough redstone at it, and it will double the nether stars. And then just in case I pump in regular redstone, then I created blocks of redstone too. So that's just kind of a catch-all. All of those are all going internal. Now, I could throw this externally, but then we wouldn't have, like the nether star would be the obvious one, and then we would export it out. The problem is that if it goes external, there won't be one in here. So then I have to feed it back in. Well, the way I have this set up is everything goes internal, and so what will happen is once it reaches, remember there's no more allowed in here, so once it reaches a stack of 64, this whole thing will stop, and it will accept no more redstone. But you know what? A stack of 64 nether stars, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's turn this on. Let's see what it's like. I've already got a stack of block of redstone in here. Let's throw this. Let's load these guys up, and let's go ahead and turn it on. There we go. It just created. And as I feed this more, I got to put this guy in there, right? Then it will. Let me break some of these down here. Give me some more. Give me some more. I need some more. And obviously this is designed to be feeding it, right? Look at that. I've already gotten 8 nether stars. How easy is that? So what I could do is just disable this or just take it off. And then as long as I have, just a few of these guys in here, then it won't actually create those blocks. So there we go. So see, I ran out of blocks of redstone first, and it just takes off one at a time. So either way I want to do this, it can be done, right? And now I've got 10 of these, plus, while I was playing with this for a couple of seconds, I also have 8 more in here. And that's just with with redstone. So I've gotten 18 using redstone, and yeah, I still have a ton of redstone, and I'm making more as we go along. You can see, not there, there. You can see these guys are well on their way. What I could also do is I could create a Ritual of the Green Grove under here and have this cranking, and this would really fuel these guys. Ritual of the Green Grove, of course, is from blood magic, right? And it will cause whatever's underneath it in a 9x9 or 3x3, so a 9-block grid, to grow rapidly and like crazy. So that's another thing I could do to really crank out the amount of redstone. So I think that's a pretty neat build. And so all I'd have to do is come in here with the, I don't think we can actually see it, but we can see it from behind. Go behind. Right? So I've got right there, and that's where our crafter is. And so all I would need is, let's grab, let's see, one up. Yep, that should be enough. And I'll have to get a conduit for this. Conduit facade, I should say. I can put that there, and when I turn that in, but I'm going to want to filter. Well, actually, no, I don't think I need a filter, because everything in here is already blocked off. So the only thing it will accept is these two. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, ready, 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 ready. Let's turn this to insert. And go. And let's do a higher priority. Let's do something like that. Is that getting it? Why is that not working? Let's see here. Don't hit it with that. Let's see. We are set to run. There's that. Let's try even higher. Who knows what priority is set on the others? I should know. Why isn't that pulling out of there? I wonder if over here we have this guy, which is where the main controller is. That thing's set. It's hard to actually get in there, but I should be able to left click to the controller here. It is in and out. Extract. It's the lowest priority. I wonder why it's not extracting. There's no filters. It's on green. Extract on green. Let's always activate just to make sure. Round robin is fine. Okay. Inserts low priority. Extract. Maybe I need a filter to get it to go, but let's see. That guy is not filling up. Oh, there's no nether stars, but that still shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. Let's put another star in there. Like I said, if you don't have one in there, it's not going to run, but that shouldn't stop it from filling up. That's odd. That's odd. There we go. Now we're all primed and ready to run if we can ever get redstone in here. Hello, hello, hello. Why aren't you? You're all one big contiguous. It should be able to pull out of that. That's very odd. Well, what I can do is I should be able to pull out of here. And so what I can do is put an export bus. And because we have, turn on my fancy dancy x-ray, I believe it's right below here. Now, the challenge I'm going to have is getting it up through here. So I could come around here and come over, but then I'd have to use chisel bits. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let us take it inside. So that's what I'm going to do for the next episode. I'm going to take this and maybe move it down here and put it somewhere in here. And that way it'll have access to the conduit here, and I can throw an exporter out of the system, and it will automatically pull into here, and then all that will work well. Because it seems like we're having problems pulling from that. In fact, this might only be one way. I always thought it was two-way, but maybe that kind of confirms what I was thinking, or what I now know is that it doesn't seem to be able to pull out, only push in. So cool. At least we know that. So yeah, I'll pull out of the refined storage. We've got two separate networks. We've got the Ender IO conduit network that comes across here and runs across here. We also then have the other unit, the other network down here. And I know at some point I'll get rid of all of that, but not right now. I'm still having fun the way it's set up. So, guys, we got to wrap up, and it's time to go. So, like this video and subscribe if you're brand new. Guys, it's been a blast. Have a good one. Bye.